What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another brand new review for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. You guys have to think about what this is. Number. This is season number 14, episode 6. You guys, my bad. And this episode was titled, what was the name of this episode? It was Marges and Marriage, you guys. Now, before we go ahead and get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's get into this episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, shall we? All right, you guys. So before we even start up with the episode, I just want to say this one more time, just for everybody out there. When it comes down to this show, I am not a fan of Teresa's, Melissa's. I like Margaret. I can call Margaret out when I think she's wrong, but I'm not like a fan of any of them. So I want to point that out, number one. And then, because on social media, I've had some of Teresa stands want to come for me, and it's just like, really, like, y'all gotta leave me alone. Like I state my opinions of Teresa. If you guys disagree with those opinions, that is fine to disagree with them. But to want to have a little bit of an argument back and forth with me about them, it's pointless because it's not going to change my thoughts or opinions of Teresa. Period. Point blank. But let's go ahead and get into this episode, shall we? And I guess I'll start up with where my notes start up with, and we'll start up with Melissa. So, what I will say is, I'm confused. Like, when it comes down to it, what show? I feel like people are watching different shows when it comes to Jersey, because this first scene with Melissa. Now, I didn't watch the episode live last night, so I saw people live tweeting about it, and I saw a lot of Teresa's stand accounts talking about, oh, Melissa's, her and Joe, they can't talk about anything else but Teresa. Now, when the scene opened up, they were on the phone with Antonia, and they asked Antonia what is her major. She said that she's going to do business administration, and then Melissa was talking about her opening up another envy store, right? So then after they hung up the phone with her, they talked about what happened at the bougie brunch, and yes, she said Teresa's name, but y'all do know that the producers do give them things to talk about for the scene. But okay, neither here nor there. So she literally, what she was saying was that Danielle at the brunch asked Teresa and Jennifer if they set her up. So she's just recapping what happened at the brunch. So I was so confused. Like, people were making it seem like she's just having a whole in-depth conversation about Teresa when she really didn't have a whole in-depth conversation about Teresa. But then she also talked about the fact that, Jackie was vibing with both Jennifer and Teresa. And I still do find that a little bit on the odd side, knowing the history between those three. But you know what? Here's the thing that I'm going to say when it comes to Jackie. If Jackie wants to be cool with those two, that's fine to be cool with them. But I still go back to what she said in her interview last week, that she knew that Teresa and Jennifer were wanting her to talk about Margaret, but you still do that. And I think that's where I kind of have the issue when it comes to Jackie. It's not the fact that you're cool with them, it's the fact that you still know that they don't like someone that you were once friends with, and you still talk about them. Like I think that's the problem that I have with Jackie. I can't speak for nobody else but for me, but that's the issue that I have when it comes down to Jackie. You guys can let me know what you guys think and feel in the comment section below. And actually we're going to go ahead and move on and talk about Jackie. So next up we see Teresa. So Teresa has Jackie over to her house. And like I said, it's really odd to me, but if it makes sense to Jackie, it makes sense to Jackie, right? But Jackie says that she wants to be around nice people and people that make her happy. And I was like, and that person is Teresa. Okay, I mean, hey, stranger things happen, right? Stranger things have happened. So they were talking about the brunch, right? And they talked about the fact. See, here's where I have an issue with Jackie at, right here. When Jackie was talking to Teresa and telling Teresa that when she called John Fuda a parking attendant, she wanted to laugh. And I was like, but aren't you supposed to be cool with Rachel? So why would you want to laugh? And to my knowledge, Rachel hasn't done anything to you. I know you feel as if Rachel and Margaret want you to choose between a friendship with Teresa and Jennifer and them. But from what I've saw thus far, Rachel ain't done nothing to you for you to want to sit there and laugh at that comment that that comment. So I'm so confused by that. But hey, if that's what she wants to do, then girl, go ahead and do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, and it is what it is, right? So then, Jackie was also talking about the fact that the argument between Rachel and Teresa, right? She asked Teresa how did she do it, and she's like, well, because Adriana came in, and so Teresa was like, well, she had a volleyball game, and that's why she left. I'm like, okay, that could be part of the reason why you left, but you also left because Rachel, and I know people disagree that Rachel was giving it to Teresa. If you disagree, you disagree. That's your opinion. I feel like Teresa was getting the smoke from Rachel. Again, if you guys disagree, that's fine. I really don't care. It is what it is, right? But here's the other thing that bothered me with Jackie in this particular scene. So Jackie was talking about the fact that she was happy that Margaret didn't come. And it's like, if you know that Teresa has an issue with Margaret, and here again, here we go. This is a thing. This is how I feel when it comes to friendships, right? I don't ever try to dictate who my friends are cool. You don't know who my friends are friends with. I never try to do that. But what I always do make for a line and a boundary with my friends is whenever you're around someone that I don't necessarily like and I don't see it for, don't have a conversation with them about me in any type of way. No, if they bring up my name, in the conversation, like, you know what, y'all ain't cool. That's my friend. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about him with you, right? And vice versa. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, tell me everything that you and Teresa talked about. And that's where I have issue when it comes to Jackie. It's the fact that there's issues between Margaret and Teresa, but then you're sitting here talking about Margaret to Teresa. It makes you look two-faced. Like, it makes you look so two-faced. But you guys can tell me how you feel about that situation, and we can pause here and we can move on to the next person, you guys. So the next person up, Dolores. Black Dolores. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about the Black Dolores, because you're in a similar situation like you were with the doctor. I forgot his name. David. Like, you're in a similar situation with Dave, like with David. You and David couldn't move forward because David didn't want to make a commitment. And now I feel like you're in a worse situation with Polly. So Dolores and Polly went to lunch, right? And he was looking at his watch. And so Dolores asked him, why are you looking at your watch? And he said, oh, just to see what time it is so I know what I'm going to eat. I'm like, Okay, if that makes sense to him and her, cool. So she then told him about the bougie brunch and how the fact that two of Danielle's friends asked her about their relationship. So Dolores is like, she doesn't need a big ring. She, some property is cool. But then she says to him that that they need to talk about this divorce, right? And so the thing with Polly is I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's something that he's not. Now, here's the thing, you guys. I have listened to the podcast where the troll account or former troll account, Melissa's Old Nose, where this is alleged, but she says that I believe either Louis told her that the reason why he won't divorce his ex-wife, well, his wife, is because they have a, you know, can I say that on his channel? I'll spell it Brothel. If you know what, so that's what she's saying, alleging, right? And this is all alleged. I don't know anything about Polly or his wife, so this is all alleged. Speaking of that, Melissa's old knows a lot of things that she's saying. I'm listening to it, and it's like I have a side eye for her because, granted, you can manipulate anybody, right? Young, old, anything, young and old, people can be manipulated. But the problem that I have when it comes to that woman is the fact that, you know, everything that you're saying that you did on behalf of Teresa, then it's so odd. And you don't know Margaret, you don't know Melissa, you don't know Rachel, John Fuda. You don't know any of these people, but you willingly participated in things that could hurt these people's families. I just find that a little jarring, right? Now, back to this. So, Polly lost me when he said to Dolores, "So if I divorce my wife today, what do you think I'm going to get down and ask you to marry me the next day?" And I was like, "Oh wow." I was like, "Dolores, listen to what he's saying." Because Dolores is like, he was supposed to have gotten divorced last year, and it's been in the works for the last 3 years, I think he said. And I was like, that he's talking about they're trying to split up assets, and which I get that part, right? It does take a while to split up some assets, but it just sounds like you're dragging your feet to me, and I really feel like Dolores can do better than Polly. Those are my opinions. I really do feel like Dolores can do a whole heck of a lot better than Polly. But let me know what you guys think in the live chat or in the comments section, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next person, you guys. So I guess next up we can talk about Danielle. Wasn't really a whole lot with Danielle in this episode. Now, I don't mean this to be shady or anything when it comes to Danielle, and I can't believe I'm actually about to say this, but I agreed with Teresa because I was looking at them clothes for the fashion show, and those clothes did look kind of basic. And again, this is nothing shady against absolutely nothing shady whatsoever towards Danielle, because that's a big accomplishment to be in New York Fashion Week and all that stuff. So I absolutely 100% commend her for that. So then, she and Nate were talking, right? And so he asked her who all was coming, and she told him that Melissa's coming and that her godmother's coming. So her godmother is her aunt, her father's sister, right? Once again, when it comes to Danielle and the situation with the issues with her family, I still don't understand it at all. It's I just can't believe that the trip, because the issues with her father and her brother, they're all very trivial from what she says on the show. So it is what it is. We get to the fashion show. It was a cute little fashion show. Like I said, the clothes look a little basic to me, but I'm not gonna knock Danielle. So congratulations to her. And that's really all we got when it came to Danielle. The big part of this episode was really when we got to the meetup with the Fudas and the Ruellas. I guess that's what they're. I think that's how you pronounce Louis' last name. But we'll go ahead and move on to Jennifer. So we see Jennifer Aiden and Jennifer Fessler. They're having lunch with each other, right? So Jen Fessler is talking about the fact that her daughter is at the same college that Melissa's daughter is going to, right? And Jennifer was like, "Well, Melissa has me blocked, so she can't see anything." But she says, "Me and Melissa we're moving forward. Hopefully, this truce can last between these two. Do I see it lasting? Not necessarily, but I would like for it to last because I am a little tired of the drama between Jennifer and Melissa. It's old and it's very stale. That's just how I feel about it. But you guys can give me your 2 cents and let me know how you feel. So then they're talking about going to Melissa's housewarming party, right? So Jennifer let because Jen Fessler is asking Jennifer Aiden how Teresa feels. And so Jennifer Aiden says that she hasn't necessarily told Teresa that she is going to the housewarming party, but she does know that she got invited. And here's the thing that I just want to say real quick. I just don't understand why people it feels like to me when people come on this show, if you don't kiss Teresa's ass, so to speak, then it's like, oh my God, you got to be afraid of Teresa. It's like, and I'm kind of confused why people have that whole thing of being. It's like people are afraid of Teresa, and I want to say this loudly and clearly for the fans to hear, especially Teresa's fans, right? Because I see on social media every week where people are talking about this is Teresa's show, this is Teresa's show, Teresa built this show. I'm gonna give you guys two names of housewives that built their respective cities, their franchises, but they're no longer there, or if they are there, they're in a very limited capacity. Number one, Nene Leakes. Nene Leakes built the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was her baby. That was her show. And if it were not for Nene Leakes, there would have been no reunions for Real Housewives ever. So Nene built Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she's not there anymore. Then someone else who is a big name in Housewives, Vicky Gunvalson. If y'all look, Vicky is not on, well, she is on OC, but I don't even think Vicky is considered a friend of at this point. I think Vicky is like a guest of Housewives, but they fired Vicky. They fired Nene. If y'all think that they can't fire those two, and they completely got rid of the New York cast, why do y'all think they want to do it to Teresa? I just have to ask that question, right? So then also Jen is talking about the fact that the same issues that Jennifer is having with Teresa, she's having them with Margaret, and I'm like, um, yes and no. Like I've said plenty of times in my reviews, I can see how it looks like both Margaret and Rachel are asking her to choose. I can definitely see it, right? But I don't think that I think they're not, I don't think they're asking her to choose. If you guys listen to especially what Rachel and what Margaret have said, just don't mention me to Teresa. And she doesn't respect that. She still brings them up. So we can leave it at that. So then Jennifer also talked about this situation with Lena and with Danielle. Now, I will say, if Danielle did say, who is Lena to be in our, who is Lena, and a woman did her hair, that is absolutely disrespectful. But I also have to say that when it comes down to the Lena situation, ma'am, if you didn't have a VIP ticket or whatever, then why were you in VIP? So I will say that question. Then I want to talk about Jennifer Jennifer Aiden. We're gonna wrap that up. When Jennifer Aiden was talking about the fact that Danielle asked what she set up, Jennifer, you keep going back and forth on what you say because last week you told Melissa that she basically pressured you into telling her, and then you couldn't tell her how you knew that Melissa knew and all this kind of stuff. I wish Jennifer would just stand in the truth and be real about it. Like, but you said it to Melissa, but you won't say it here. Like, it's like you keep going back and forth, and that's my problem with you. So now move on and we'll talk about Marge, you guys. So, what I will say, the comment that Marge made about Jackie and her mental health, I didn't agree with it. I did not agree with it. I thought it was like, ooh, Marge, you shouldn't have said that, right? But Marge was at a charity event for first responders, and it's a golf outing. So she invited Rachel, Melissa, who else was there? Rachel, Melissa. I did see we had who else was there? Rachel and Melissa were there. Dolores was there, and I don't forgot who else was there, but they were all there, right? So Melissa was talking about her housewarming party and the fact that she invited Jennifer and Jackie, right? And that's when Margaret made her comment about, the mental health. I like again, like I said, I don't agree with it. I think Marge was wrong for that. So they also talked about the brunch. Melissa was like, I didn't call you because I knew you was having a weekend with your girls. And Rachel's like, but I called her, right? And you know, again, well, actually, you know what? I won't get too deep into the situation with Rachel and Teresa. We'll talk about it when we get to the sit down with Rachel and Teresa. Because here's the thing. Actually, no, like I said, we'll talk about it when we get to that point. Now, Dolores brought up once again Danielle's friends talking about her and Polly. Dolores, this man is not, he doesn't seem like he wants to get a divorce at this current time. So I think it might be best for you just to say, you know what, I got to let it go. And the way he talked to Dolores was so rude. I was like, Dolores, why don't you just leave this fool sitting at this table? But what we'll do is we're going to pause and wrap up the episode with the sit down. So at one point we saw side by side scenes of Teresa and Louis talking about sitting down with the Fudas, and we saw the Fudas talking about sitting down with Louis and Teresa, right? So Teresa and Louis got there after John and Rachel got there, right? So at one point, Teresa said that she brought a gift because Jackie told her about Joe and them having a housewarming party, so she asked them to give the gift to Joe, right? So Teresa then says to Rachel and John that she never had a problem with them. So Rachel said that she felt as if Teresa never really wanted to be her friend because she's cool with Melissa. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I tuned Teresa out because I just tuned Teresa out most times. So Teresa said that she felt like she had a connection with John. And so he asked her then, why did you bring up a drug dealer comment? And Teresa says that, well, I said it, I didn't say it in the sense that you are a current drug dealer. Teresa, let's stop playing the stupid game, right? You absolutely 100% brought that up as a dig. Even if you said were or was, you brought it up as a dig to that man. Let's stop playing, right? So John is just asking Teresa for an apology, and I want people to listen to what she said, if if you have the words if or but in front of an I'm sorry, then that negates the I'm sorry. Because if a person is telling you, I feel this way, this is how I felt, and you say if this, but that, then that completely negates the apology. And that's where Teresa did to him. And John kept saying, I need an apology from you. I need an apology from you. Yes, was he getting loud and stuff? Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I know that the Teresa fans had a problem with it, but I don't, right? Because and here's a real reason why I don't have a problem with it. Louis is sitting right in front of Teresa. If he felt at any point that John was getting disrespectful to his wife, he could have chimed in and said, "Hey, you're being disrespectful." He could have said anything to John, but he did not say anything to John. He sat there looking like a red lobster the whole entire time, right? So, like I said, they kept going back and forth with each other. And so John told Teresa, like, you got that from a criminal. And she's like, John, that's Jaden's mother. And Rachel said, no, I'm Jaden's mother. Nice to meet you, right? And so then John is steady telling Teresa, like, you owe me an apology. And so Teresa, like, well, you owe Louis an apology for bashing his business. I was like, oh my God. You know what? I'm gonna keep it to myself because someone came at me last night about it. But I'm gonna actually know what I'm gonna say. Teresa deflects a lot. And that's one of my problems when it comes to Teresa. She deflects. The man is asking you for an apology. It's easy just to say, you know what? Yes, I said it. I said, was a drug dealer. What word was? I do apologize for saying it. That's all he was asking for was a simple apology. But Teresa can't be bothered to say, I'm sorry, right? So John got upset and he was like, you know what? We're out. So then him and Teresa going back and forth with each other. He called her the poster child for mortgage fraud. And she was like, you don't want it with me or some stuff like that, right? And so he told her, you know what? Whenever I need my money laundered, I'll call you. And like I said, I don't have a problem with John going back and forth with Teresa. I really truly don't. Her husband was sitting right there. Her husband didn't say anything unless it's edited that way. From what I saw, Louis had nothing to say. But if you guys have any different opinions, I'm cool with that. You can leave them respectfully in the comments section. But that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, you guys, and also share the video. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourself, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys later. So I will see you guys on Wednesday for a new episode of The Real Housewives of Dubai, because Dubai comes on tomorrow night, June 11th. So I'll see you guys then. But again, be blessed, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.